So, welcome back, everyone. This is going to be a one-to-one sort of exclusive, so it will be uploaded on the channel eventually. But for now, it's going to be just available only to those that are taking the one-to-one session. So, I've cleared off all my charts, and what I'm going to be doing in this video is just going through all of my Sunday analysis, my Sunday routine, and then just taking you guys through what I see and what I do on my market analysis on a Sunday evening, and also what I look for into the future. And, you know, if any of you have any questions, a lot of you in the next week, so from Monday onwards, I'm pretty sure all of you have at least one session booked in. So if you have any questions about this video, then you can go ahead and write them down and ask me in the one-to-one sessions that we have planned. So without further ado, I'm going to be doing my top-down analysis. Now, because I'm an intraday trader, I'm only going to be looking at the daily time frame, as you can see up in the top left-hand corner of your screens. I'm going to be doing the daily, the 4-hour, and the 1-hour. In my opinion, if you're an intraday or even a scalper, you don't need to go any higher than the daily. If you're a swing trader, then perhaps you might want to go into the weekly or monthly. But for me, at the moment, I'm only going to be going from the daily down. Right. So, and this is exactly what I'll be doing. I might go quiet, but for the most part, I'll sort of try and explain what I'm doing. So, I want to get up some zones that just stand out nice and clear. So this one, a beautiful zone here, was support here, broken, retested, continued down. That is an absolutely beautiful zone. My bias at the moment on GBPUSD, especially now we've had the break below this zone, is going to be for sales. Where we'd look for sales, I don't know. We'd actually have to go onto a higher time frame here because I'm not sure where to target. We could target down here, although that's quite hard. Our next probably reasonable target would be here at 127653, but there is a long way before we get down to that. So for the moment, what I'll be doing with GU is trying to find an entry. And then if we can find an entry, I'll be moving my stop losses to break even. And then hopefully, yeah, we can get some nice entries, and we'll just let the trade run. And if it's a stop loss, it's fine. It will be a risk-free trade. Not much structure being created on the 4-hour. If we jump down to the 1-hour, see if there's anything more here. We have had a slight break and retest of this zone. It's not really clear, so I'm not going to add it. Maybe you could say that you could highlight these swing lows here, and you'd want it to come and test up here. For me, that's not really a strong enough zone. Probably something like that is, but then over here you got the price action. So really, it's quite choppy, and at the moment, not something I'm looking to trade. GBPJPY. Now, we was actually really unlucky on this trade last week because it played out exactly as predicted. Unfortunately, we just didn't get an entry, but you can't win them all. There's still going to be plenty more opportunities in the market. A zone that stands out to me right now, zone like this. So here we've got support, broke, resist, support again, and then support here, now it's acting as resistance. I do believe that GBPJPY is going to push higher. Investors aren't looking to put their money into safe haven currencies, so like the Japanese yen or the US dollar or gold anymore, which is why we're seeing a reaction on gold going down. That's why we're seeing the DXY go down. That's why we're seeing AUD pairs shoot up, because people are now looking to put their money into riskier currency pairs, and a riskier currency pair is a British pound pair, and a more sort of risk off currency pair is a yen pair. So we're going to go down to the 4-hour. So as you can see, this is what I wanted to do. I said this in the group chat, into the signals group. And when this is uploaded for YouTube, if there's anyone that wants to get into the signals group, you can do a one-to-one session that gets you access. If you do the £40 one, you do not get access to the group. But if you book 2 one-to-one sessions for £60, you not only get 2 one-to-ones, but you also get access to the VIP signals. So it's a win-win. You pay £40 for one session and get no VIP signal access, or you pay £60 for 2 sessions and you get VIP access. So if you want any more information on that, head over to my email. There'll be a link in the description. Anyway, as I was saying, in the signals group, we wanted to see price come back down to here and then push up. As you can see, it's pushed up, but it hasn't broken this zone, but it's still made a higher high. So we've got a lower high here, a lower high here, and then hopefully somewhere around here will produce another lower high. What I would want to see, ideally, is something like this. So a push down, and then a break above, and then a break up, and then a continuation push like that. That's ideally what I'd want to see. Whether we see that, we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. So I think that's probably it for GBPJPY. If we go down to the 1 hour, yeah, not much has happened again. Break above, retest, and I'm now looking for continuation higher. So yeah, that's it for GBPJPY. GBPAUD, once again, if we go down to the daily time frame and see what's happening here. So by the looks of it, we've got sort of a break and retest sort of thing going on here. So we've got, yep, something like that. So we've got the push down, we've pinned above it, we've pushed up, not been able to push any higher, and then broken these previous swing lows. We came in to retest it on a daily candle, and we got some nice rejection. If we scooch down to the 4 hour, we'll be able to see this a little bit more clearly. So maybe if we just adjusted this zone to here, so we had a breakthrough, break above, retest, stored and couldn't go any higher, created a little double top formation here, broke below, and now we've retested with rejection. Potentially on market open, I might get an entry here. This would actually be a really nice trade. We've got 2 pin bars pinning away, candlesticks are really small, which indicates exhaustion. So we could see something like this. A short position. If we did get in here, you could have your stop losses above these highs here, somewhere like that. For me, that's complete overkill. That's a 200 pip stop loss, not something we want to do. So we'll drop down to the 1 hour, and I think somewhere above these previous swing highs, even 106 pip stop loss is still ridiculous. So we're just going to move it to these highs here. That's a 67 pip stop loss, which is, yeah, quite ridiculous. In fact, we're just going to give it a bit more room to breathe. We're going to have to do a 100 pip stop loss for this, which is ridiculous. Unfortunately, this is how trading works. If you're only risking 1%, it doesn't matter how many stop loss pips you are. If you get taken out, it'll only be 1%. If it was 2 pips, it would still add to 1%. And I've done some position size calculations with some clients at the moment, but not many of you have got that far into it yet. Right, now moving on to some NZDUSD pairs. Let me just check that, actually, just to make sure I'm happy with that. Nothing else really going on the daily, nothing really else going on the 4 hour. What in the world? Nothing really going on the 4 hour. You could probably drag this over to here, get in these swing lows. Not really bothered about that. It's not really relevant. That happened. When did this happen? 10th of May 2021, so almost a year ago. So not bothered about that zone in the slightest. Right, moving on. NZDUSD. As you can see, looking on the daily time frame, we've got a nice couple of swing highs here, like that. If we go, I don't really see anything worth having anymore. Maybe you could draw a zone here, maybe you could draw support here. On the daily, it doesn't look that great. So we're going to drop down to the 4 hour and see what's happening on the 4 hour. So we did have a quick brief spike above, but we've had a huge reaction back downwards. To be fair, this would have been a stupidly nice entry if we had a counter trend line drawn in here. We've broken the counter trend line. You could have got an entry here, or you could have got an entry here. You've also broken these lows, so we've broken structure. Judging briefly from what I've seen here on NZDUSD, we could probably be looking to go down further. I'm going to do this zone here. What I would ideally like to see now is something like this. So maybe a push back up here slightly, a break below, a retest, and then a continuation back down there. Maybe we could target these lows down here. I'm actually going to keep them marked on for now, just because they're the previous swing lows, and we'll just mark up this bit here. So yeah, they're the previous swing lows, and it's quite a nice noticeable area to target that you could probably imagine a lot of other retail traders are going to target as well. Not going to move down to the 1 hour. I don't feel like I need to. I feel like everything's okay. If it goes higher, I'd like to see something like this. So a break above, a retest, and then continuation. And if it doesn't, I'd like to see a break below, retest, and then continuation. Obviously, it could do none of that, and it could consolidate. It could do something like this, like that. Just bounce between the zones. We'll have to wait and see. Right, moving on. NZDJPY. So we're going to scroll down, or scroll up, sorry, to the daily time frame. We've got a nice little zone over here, which we're having some interaction at the moment. So we're going to mark that on here. So as you can see, support, 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 broke below, and now we've come up for a retest. Could we see a continuation? We don't know. If we do see a continuation, I would want to see something like this. So maybe a pullback down here, a push higher, and then a break and a retest and a continuation. If you are in the one-to-one sessions, this is the strategy I teach, and it doesn't actually matter whether you trade intraday, swing, or scalp. This works across the board, and it is a really effective way of extracting some money out of the Forex market. So drop it down to the 4 hour. It does actually look like we're going to continue higher. It does look like we've seen some exhaustion, so we've broken down, we've created a doji. I do feel like it wants to push higher. If I was going to enter, I would either want a clean retest of this area here, or I'd want a break above and then a retest and a continuation. We'll have to wait and see what happens on that front. EURUSD, brilliant pair, respects technical analysis and trends very well. And it's quite a volatile pair to trade, so we can always make a lot of money. So I'm going to mark up this zone here for that's relevant. Support here, support here, support here, support here, support here, and then we've had a break, we've had a retest. I think we're going to see a continuation downwards. As you can see, if we put on our moving average, the rule of thumb is if price action is below the moving average, we're looking to sell, and if it's above, we're looking to buy. So right now we're trading below the moving average, so ideally we want to be looking for some sell positions. So now if we drop down to the 4 hour, we might be able to see some entries. Nothing really sticks out to me. I would like to see maybe a retest of this area here. So we've had the break below, like that. We've had the break below. I'd want to see price come up to here, retest, and then continue down. You could probably even get in this trade for a quick scalp. This wouldn't even probably be intraday. This could quite easily be over in maybe 4 hours max. So you could get an entry into here. Short position. Got up here. I'd have my stop loss above this wick here. I know it's an 80 pip stop loss, but that's alright, because we can almost get a 1 to 2 out of this. 1 to 7, almost a 1 to 2. If you wanted to be a bit more tighter, you could put it down there and then guarantee yourself a 1 to 2. Personally, I'll just have it above the wick like that, and then you get a 1 to 9.5, so almost a 1 to 2, and this trade would be over inside a day, which would be nice. Right, gold. On the signals group, we actually did take a position here. We took a buy. It did look really nice. You could even say that we had a touch back here. So we got a touch up here. We got a touch here. We got a touch here. Unfortunately, when we got our entry again, we did unfortunately get manipulated out of our trade. What can you do? You know, it happens. So what I'm expecting with gold now is a continuation higher. Now, this is something that I don't expect many of you to know, especially inside of the one-to-one session group. I'm expecting smart money to come back and visit this area again. I'm expecting them to come visit about here. Smart money concepts is not something that I've taught really either on the channel or in the groups at the moment, but it is something that we will be working on together and we'll be working towards if that's something you want to learn. I do expect a continuation to gold, but I do expect it to revisit this time, so this area sometime. So maybe we could get a sell up here, targets here, or we could get a rejection here and a continuation push. We'll have to wait and see. The DXY, all I really use the DXY for is just to judge where gold's going. If the DXY is going up, ideally gold's going down. So as you can see here, gold's pushing down on the DXY, it's pushing up. So that's because gold is measured against the US dollar. I don't do technical analysis for the DXY particularly. I just click on it, and then if it's going up, that's sort of my bias. If it's going down, so here I would never be looking to buy gold in this situation, or even in this situation, and I'd be looking to sell gold. Oh, buy gold in this situation here. Sell gold here, buy gold here. But that's, once again, slightly more complicated stuff that we will all cover eventually. Right. So moving on to AUDUSD. So what we have here is we've got a previous touch of some swing highs. So we're going to mark this on here like that. We did have a quick break below, but we didn't really break below it because the second we broke below it, we snapped straight up. So that's the daily zone that I want. Don't see anything else. If we actually do draw a trend line on, now I don't use trend lines too often, but in this sense, I'm just going to use it. So if we draw a trend line from here to here, we have actually broken the trend line. So maybe if we can break below this zone here, so we could potentially be looking for sales now. So if we break below here, we could see something like this, a retest, a break below, up, test, down. I don't know why I picked the highlighter. I thought I picked the brush. So yeah, something like that. Down, test, push up, below, push down, retest, and then a continuation. We'll just have to wait and see on that front. I'm going to get rid of that because I don't really like using trend lines. We shall see. Let's see what happens in the future. Trading is really just about being patient. And the last currency pair, AUDJPY on the 4 hour, just straight away looking for buys. The daily, looking for buys as well. Trading upwards here. I'm pretty sure price will also be below. There you go. Price is broken above. So the moving average is below. So we're going to be looking for ideally buys. So the one zone that stands out to me on the daily time frame is the swing highs here. So we got that. We've had a bit of interaction at these swing highs, as you can see right here. We've pinned straight away, but I do think we're still bullish on this pair. We're going to see some consolidation now. I would ideally like to see a push down to here and then a continuation. If we bust out the old Fibonacci tool, which is something I've not been teaching everyone at the moment, but once again, stuff we can get onto. If we can get a retracement to our golden Fibonacci zone, that would be perfect. So we got here, just tying this one up a little bit. So yeah, if we could see a push down to here in our 61.8 Fibonacci zone, not only have we created a higher high, we'd have created a lower high, because this is the swing low, this is the swing high, this would be the next swing low. We could literally get in for something like this. We could do something like that, long position. Assuming we did get a nice entry, we could have had our stop loss quite conservative. Even that's quite a 40 pip stop loss, beautiful. Target these previous zones up here. We get a 1 to 2.58, so we're risking 46 pips, gaining 120 pips. This would be a beautiful trade, something that I'm looking to take. Unfortunately, unless we see some really volatile movement next week or this trading week coming. Potentially it might not be a setup until the week after if we do look for buys. And to be fair, that is it for the weekly outlook. They're all my pairs. I've only got these because this is just stuff that I'm interested in. So obviously there's a lot of sanctions on Russia at the moment. Rosneft also was a huge partner with the Shell company, which is a huge oil giant and a petrol station in England and many other places around the world, and they took 25 billion out of their business. Unfortunately, well, or fortunately for Rosneft, Russia has closed all trading, so they've closed like the last 2 weeks. The last time they was open was on the 25th of February, so literally the day of the invasion. They closed the markets and they haven't reopened them since, because if they did open it, we'd be looking at probably somewhere down here for this oil tycoon, because of what's happening with Russia and what's happened with Shell and releasing assets from Rosneft worth 25 billion. And then this one's just the Russian ruble against the US dollar. It's just nice to see what's happening to the ruble, what's happening to the dollar. And yeah, this is something I expect to collapse big time. The central bank's not able to prop up the currency as well, because they've been banned from trading global financial markets, and the central bank's essentially the thing that keeps the currency at a stable rate. As you can see, it doesn't really break 0.012, and then it just crashed. Anyway, that has been the video. If you have any questions, do just leave them or write them down, and then we've pretty much all of you have got a one-to-one session booked next week. So if you have any questions, write them down and we can go over them in the one-to-one. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon in the one-to-ones.